mensch. You have to remember things. All right. All right. Okay, where do we leave off? The bottom, right?
How much the first two words of Hamid Olive?
Is that what we did?
I think so. Maybe I could be wrong.
I think we, starts with a. So we did the kasha. Did we do the kasha?
You said you were going to do the first kasha, if I remember.
Oh, I think let's go back. Let's start from 2 lines up. Let's start from 2 lines up in the bottom. Let's see, 2 lines up in the bottom. Samale, Ravina Ravashi. Where is everybody already? It's Shabbos over a while ago, no?
Yes.
Okay, we'll start either way. Samale Ravina Ravashi. So Ravina said to Rava, again, what's the sugi we're talking about? Making a shvuah of exaggeration. Does it work? Does it not work? And right, so this guy made a shvuah about 600,000 people, whichever way you learned the shvuah, or that's what he did. Right. So now, hold on 1 second. Sorry. Okay, so Amalei Ravina Ravashi. So Ravina said to Ravashi, we're on the second line over the bottom, Chavtal and base. The Doma Hai Gavra Kina Teshumshani Chaza. Maybe when this guy was making the shvuah about the 600,000, maybe he saw a Kina the Shumshani, which is basically a bunch of ants together. Yeah. Ba'asik lahain Shema Oile Mitzrayim. And he called them Oile Mitzrayim. The Shaper Mishtava, and he made a real shvuah, meaning this guy made a shvuah that there was 600,000. He saw 600,000 of like the Yotzim Mitzrayim. So we're assuming that he's referring to humans. Maybe he called ants. Maybe he called the ants Mitzrayim. That was the way he called. That was his name. Everybody's got their names for different things. So he called ants 600,000. He called them Oile Mitzrayim. Right. So back on Amud Aleph now. So Malay ki mishtava daitati dan mishtava. When a person makes a shvuah with ardas, not the way he himself makes, what he himself thinks. And we don't think that a person is calling ants like Shishim Ribui that came out of Mitzrayim. All right. So meaning normal people don't call ants Oile Mitzrayim. So since normal people don't call ants Oile Mitzrayim, so therefore this guy is not this guy's shvuah doesn't go. It's not based on ants. So now the Gemara spends the rest of the Amud asking kashas on this. Again, the rule the Gemara is saying at this point is that when somebody makes a shvuah, the person is making the shvuah based on how do you say? The person's making the shvuah. I'm saying he's basically saying that the shvuah is going to be according to how everybody describes something. So we thought maybe this guy's describing 600,000 as Oile Mitzrayim, and they're not. That's not. He's going to go with what we say, and therefore his shvuah is not going to be a shvuah. Right? Fine. So now the Gemara is going to ask Kasha about a person won't swear on his own things. So when Beis Din makes somebody swear, what do? We're on for those that are all that's just joining now. Let's go back. We're second line down from the top.
We're just starting now from the beginning?
No, we started a couple lines before from all right.
Okay, thank you.
On his das, a person doesn't swear, but when they make him swear, I mean, like this is the protocol for telling a guy when a guy hasn't Beis Din, they make him make a shvuah. Right? So this is what they tell him. That we're not only making you make a shvuah on a tanai that's in your mind. Ella al datenu val das Beis Din. You also have to have our das and the das of Beis Din in mind. Which I'm not sure what that double lashon is exactly. All right. But well, 1 second. The Beis, all right. Right. So the Beis in the Masorah Hashas, see that little Beis changes it and says al das al datenu val das hamakoin. Right, like we say by kol nidre. All right, meaning the das of the Rabbah Shalom. Meaning you need to do our das, and you need to do the das of the Rabbah Shalom. Yeah. Lafuke mai, what is that coming to exclude? Lav lafuke da asik lula iskundri, is it not coming to exclude somebody who's going to make a shvuah on pieces of wood? And he's calling them coins. This daf gets into the real scammers. I imagine a guy has to make a shvuah, and he says, let's say he owes the guy money, and he wants to put wood into the guy's rishus. So in his head, he's calling money wood. All right, or the other way. He's calling wood coins. He's calling wood money. In his head, he's calling wood money. You know, like we call there's different names for cash. No, dough.
But on Shabbos, talking about money on Shabbos, challahs, bananas.
Challahs, whatever, cash. You know, challahs. 100 challahs. Right. So that the guy does the same thing. He says, sure, I gave the guy back. Well, he's really
He gave him 10,000 FTX bitcoins. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever, something like that.
He owed him $1 million. We gave him 10,000 FTX coins.
Yeah, so here he's really doing the opposite. He's calling that money. So basically, what the guy said, I made a shvuah. Sure, I paid him back money. In his head, money meant wood, pieces of wood, or garbage, or whatever it is. All right. So and so we're saying that we're telling the guy, but by the way, you have to make a shvuah based on our das for this. Right? Mashma. It's mashma that there are times where a person can make a shvuah where they're not in charge. Meaning they're not in charge. They're not going with the person who's in charge, and they're going to make a shvuah on their own das, right? Again, they're making this guy, Beis Din's making this guy make a shvuah that he's going with Beis Din's das. Mashma, that there is a possibility, there is a situation where he'll make a shvuah on his own das. So the Gemara answers, Loi lafuke, it's coming to exclude Mekanya de Rava. It's coming to exclude the case of the cane of Rabbah. Right, now what does that mean? Now listen, this guy's a scammer of a scammer. There was a guy who borrowed money from his friend. Also, the Rabbah came from Rabbah. So he told the lawyer.
Article has it the opposite. That he was owed money.
Same case.
That he was owed money.
I'm saying it doesn't. okay, you want to say it that? I'm saying it's the same situation. There's one guy owed money to the other guy, right? I mean, your two questions: how do you touch masik? Right. So what are they saying? They're saying what? He was
Masik
owed.
is the lender.
There was a
Yes,
man
he
who
was
was
owed.
owed money from his friend.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. So the who gathered have a masik b'chavre. See, masik b'chavre. He lent
to his friend.
to.
Masik
So,
is the same as Asik La'ara, going up.
right.
He put money
so
up
masik,
by his friend.
The beer is throwing me off a little bit here.
In his friend's rishus. He put money up in his friend.
I hear. So okay. So what? So masik b'chavre. So the guy lent his friend money. All right. Also, look, I made the Rabbah. So he came from the Rabbah. So he went to the loiva, and he said, "Pay me." Amarle, he said, "Paraticha, I paid you." So Amarle Rabbah, him came zila shtavalei the parati. If that's the case, and you really paid him, go swear that you paid him. Also, he took a cane, a hollow cane, and he put money into the cane. And he came and he was leaning on and walking on the cane. And he came with the cane to Beis Din. So I guess in order to hold the Sefer Torah to make the Shavuos, so he said, "Here, hold my cane." He said, "Whatever I had in my hand, I'm making a Shavuos that I paid it," which is what happened because he handed the guy the cane, and inside the cane there was money. So the Malva was so upset because he knew that this guy was a scammer. He got angry, he got brigus. The Tavra he broke the cane. And all the money spilled out on the ground. But the bottom line is the guy's not going to get nailed for making a Shavuos sheker because it was true. All right. I mean, the guy pulled the scam of the century. All right, he put money in the cane, gave the cane over to the lender, and swore all the money I gave you, which was true. Right? So how this guy? How's that for a real scammer? Anyway, so we're saying in that situation, that don't be pulling that shtick. That's what Beis Din tells somebody when you're making a shvuah, don't be pulling that shtick. Fine. So that was kasha number one. Kasha number two. And do we not swear according to him? That we find by Moshe Rabeinu, Yisroel made klal Yisroel swear that they're going to keep the Torah. Moshe Rabeinu told them, "I'm not making you make a shvuah from your own das of what you think you're supposed to make a shvuah on. You're making a shvuah that you're going to keep the Torah based on what my das is, meaning Moshe Rabbeinu's das and the das of the Rabbah Shem. Shenemar, v'lo yitchem levadchem. If not you, v'lo yitchem levadchem. What's the pasuk? Right? Fine. So these basically Moshe Rabeinu is making klal Yisrael swear on Hashem's terms and on Moshe's terms. My Amar Lahu Moshe Yisrael. What did Moshe tell klal Yisrael? So this is all part of the kasha. Lav hachi kamarlu. Is this not what he told him? Dilma avdison mili. Maybe you'll do something against the Torah. Vamrisan al datenu. And you're going to say that you weren't over on the shvuah because we understood the Torah not like that, right? You get this all the time. You get somebody asks a shaila, and he has his own understanding of the shaila. He says, according to my understanding of the shaila, I'm perfectly fine. So Moshe is sort of telling klal Yisrael, don't pull that shtick and say that when you made the shvuah, you gave me the Torah, you understood the Torah in this way. Your shvuah is going to be based on the way we tell you how to keep the Torah. That's why he said it's on my das. So what's that coming
but
to?
They knew that. They knew what that was before they made the shvuah.
I think not.
Yeah, so
they certainly had the Torah.
shvuah?
They did have the Torah before then. No?
So how are they making a shvuah if they don't know what the shot that Moshe Rabeinu and the Baruch Shalom was saying? What kind of shvuah is that?
Right. Well, that's what. How do you understand Nasiv and Nishma?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but we did it. Right?
Oh, okay, good.
Right. I guess whatever way we understand Nasiv and Nishma.
This is not the same as Nasiv and Nishma.
Why?
Nasiv and Nishma, they were minded. They didn't know it, but they're trusting whatever. They're trusting Hashem or they're trusting Moshe that they're being straight with them, for want of a better word.
Well, I don't know. I think they understood that there was a
Moshe
Torah.
is saying on the way he understands the Torah. I don't know. We don't understand Torah. Moshe Rabeinu understood it. I don't understand. We understand Torah. The Goyin understood, or the Rambam, or the Rav Akiva. We don't understand the Torah that way. We understand whatever we understand, not what they understood in the Torah.
I hear. Yeah, but its bottom line is you can't make your own Torah up either. Which is in Yonah D'Yoma. It's in Yonah D'Yoma with the Macha against this guy's Chumash or whatever.
I don't know. I didn't know what you were talking about today or now either.
It's Rashi Kipshuta Sefer or something. Rashi, I don't know. Rashi Mefurish, Rashi Kipshuta. They're fire against
I didn't understand that called Torah. What's going on?
They say there's a apikarsis and they don't go with Rashi's pshat and I don't know exactly myself.
So it's boosting sales, bottom line.
I don't know. Probably on eBay for sure.
Aaron, don't buy any for the shul yet.
You want to donate? Okay, fine, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you call? Listen, I don't know. You're right, but they have to. But they had the Torah already. No, they knew the Torah.
Yeah, but it's a different understanding.
Yeah. No. Isn't it? I'm saying they know that they're not allowed to talk lashon hara. Let's say. Right?
Okay,
but when you go to
don't know what lashon hara is, and how do I which understand the Hilchos lashon hara like Moshe Rabeinu understands it? How is that possible? That's impossible.
Right, but I think what it means is that when you go to Beis Din and you have a Machlokes with somebody, and Beis Din tells you if you do Aleph Beis Gimel, even though you think it's Dalet Hey Vav, your shul is that you're keeping it the way we interpret it. No?
Oh, okay, fine.
I think that's the way I understand it. But okay, either way, but it's not like what I'm saying is even Lahaniach that you're saying, like you're saying, it's not like we didn't do this before. We did the Nasa before we did the Nishma. So, okay. Fine. So, okay, but so Lafukim, I love Lafuki, Lasiku Shemala, by this Shmala. So, I mean, the way the Gemara is teretz, maybe this also answers your kasha about Lafukim. What does it come to? So, Lab Lafuki, da Siku Shema. Shema, I'm sorry, it's really Elika, right? I don't know. You can say it Eliha. Eliha, really. Eliha. Right, not Eliha. Right? When you say when it's Hashem's name referring to Hashem, then you can't say it. But when it's referring to a God or an Avodah Zarah, you're allowed to call it Eliha. Right? So, but it's really Eliha. So, anyways, so lav lafukit asiko shma la'avodas kechavim alayah, meaning, isn't this coming to exclude that they're going to maybe have this shua to avodah zara, whatever it is. But there's such a thing as then making a shvu. If Moshe wouldn't have warned them, then their shvu would have been a good shvu, even though it was according to their own das. Klal, David inish the mishtava daita the nafshay. A person will make a shvua according to his own das. So Gemara says, "Lo yavetz kavim ikri eliyah," right? So, and avodas kachavim is called a god because it says right? And it's meaning so people will normally, they can't say, oh, that was my definition of it, because that definition could taka be of the zara. Okay, so Gemara says v'lishba yas haindim the kaimton mitzvahs. Then if that's the case, then Moshe should have made them make a shvua that they're going to keep all the mitzvahs, right? So the Gemara says, no, mashma mitzvahs hamelach. That could mean mitzvahs hamelach. If he just, meaning mitzvahs doesn't have to mean mitzvahs, how do you say it? Mitzvahs from the Rabban Shalom. It could be they're going to define it as, no, I swore that I'm doing the mitzvahs of the king, whoever was the king at that time. The king at the time said give taxes, so I'm giving taxes, but I never swore to Hashem.
We call those mitzvahs?
Yes, that's what he's saying. There is precedence for calling a king's commandments, a king meaning basar v'dam, as mitzvahs.
Wasn't Moshe Rabeinu technically the melech? He would never have said such a thing. Make a shvud, you'll keep my mitzvahs.
No, but in their head.
Yeah, but
right,
he was the melech. But how they would have thought that Moshe Rabeinu was telling them to keep my mitzvahs?
No, I don't think they know what he thinks. It's just them trying to get around it, right?
Yeah, but getting around it would mean that they're in their heads they're saying that Moshe is the melech. We're going to keep his mitzvahs,
right? No, it's not. I don't think they think anything. Just it's a way for them to what do you call it? To try and get out of it by saying, "Oh, I never made the shvur to this. I made a shvur for this." But as long as you find ep something, any terminology that would work for that, so then their shvur would be a good shvur. Again, the Gemara's kasha is that Moshe said you only can swear based on our knowledge, and so it's mashma that there is such a thing as a shvur of somebody making it on their own. So we're saying no. They could have used our knowledge too, meaning mitzvahs. When they made a shvur on mitzvahs, they're going to say, yeah, we made it on mitzvahs hamelech, which is a legitimate terminology. That's what Moshe is saying. Yeah, it is a legitimate terminology, but you have to base it on my terminology, not on what you think. That's something what it says. So then let him say kol mitzvahs, right? Don't say mitzvahs, say kol mitzvahs. Mashma, so what it says, mashma mitzvahs tzitzis. That's mashma. That would be mashma mitzvahs tzitzis. Damamash shkula mitzvahs tzitzis. Connected kol mitzvahs sheba Torah. Mitzvahs tzitzis is equal to all the mitzvahs in the Torah. So somebody might say, yeah, I swore to keep to put on tzitzis, but that's it. I didn't swear to keep anything else.
Does he have to keep the Rambam's cheshbon or the Ramban's cheshbon? Like
right,
we spoke a few days ago.
Right. That's what we're going to get to that in a minute. That's I think what that's how we yeah. Let's see. So v'lishba yasayin the mekaimton Torah. Okay, so then why didn't Moshe Rabeinu make them swear that they're going to keep the whole Torah? There's no way around that. So so mashma no, because Torah can be mashma Torah achas. All right, Torah achas meaning either Torah shebiksav or Torah shabal peh. But Moshe wanted them keeping both Torahs. Okay, so then v'lashba yasayin the mekaimton Torahs. Why didn't Moshe say it plural? You have to keep Torahs. When it answers mashma Torahs mincha Torahs chatas Torahs asham. That could sound like the Torah of carbon mincha, Torahs chatas, and Torahs asham, and not any other things. So Gemara says v'lashba yasayin dem mekaimton Torahs umitzvahs. So then he should have said to klal Yisrael, make a shvur, you're going to keep Torahs plural and mitzvahs. So the Gemara again says Torahs mashma Torahs ham mincha. That's mashma Torahs ham mincha mitzvahs mashma mitzvahs hamelach, and it's mashma mitzvahs hamelach. Okay, so Gemara says again, v'lishba yasayin dem mekaimton Torah kula. Why didn't he make them make a shvur that we mekaim the whole Torah? So my answer is Torah kula mashma by this kachavim. So the Torah kula could be mashma just not to do avodah zarah. The Tanya chamura avodah cham shekala kaifer bakilu ma'ida b'Torah kula. Avodah zarah is so strict that if you are a kaifer for avodah zarah, then it's as if you didn't keep the whole Torah, right? We know that a yid, if let's say a yid is not makbid on shotness. All right. So he's not magrid on shotness, so you can't use him as a shotness tester, obviously, but you can trust him for everything else. But if a yid's ovid avodah zarah, you can't trust him for anything. And if a yid is machal Shabbos, also you can't trust him for anything. All right, correct. So that's what it would sound like. So Gemara asks, why don't we just make the shur that they're going to keep the halachas of not doing avodah zarah and the whole Torah? Inami sheish meyos shloish esrei mitzvahs. That's what we were discussing it. Or, and here's the second place in Shas here in the Gemara in Makkos that says that there were 613 mitzvahs. It's not. We were saying it's not a Gemara. It's a Gemara. It's not a Mishna. It's not a Medrash. I says, why don't you say you keep 613 mitzvahs? All right. Ella, Moshe Rabeinu milsted like tricha nakat. Moshe was he wanted to do the easiest way. He wanted to make the shua the easiest way,
Which would end up being the most confusing for us to understand, for the common person to understand.
He's just saying, according to the das of the Makam and das, meaning he's saying my das of my interpretation of the Torah and Hashem's interpretation. All right, and that's it. Yeah, is it confusing? It's not confusing. We can't make our own Torahs. That's all. All right.
And Lamaskana Sagamara, there's no diak from there either. There's no diak that standard shua is without Tainu.
What do you mean?
The Gemara started with trying to make a diak, but because Moshe Rabeinu says without Samatim, must be the usual circumstances that people make of that up.
Right.
That's atzim.
Right.
There's no deal. Moshe Rabeinu just used really
correct, but it's the easiest way. There's no deal to be made. But the bottom line is that we don't have any kashas that you should be making, that you could make your own shvua. So the bottom line, Maskaras and Gemara is that when somebody makes a shvua, it's based on the common usage of those terms, and you can't start making shtick. That's the bottom line. That's what Maskaras and Gemara. Fine. Then the Gemara says, so the guy also makes a shvua or a neder, that he said that if I saw a snake that was so big that it was like the beams of an olive press. So Gemara says, "Veloy," meaning, and we're saying that that's an exaggeration because it's impossible. So Gemara says, "Veloy," and it's impossible. There was a snake in the days of Shmuel Malka. Ramule Tleisar Urvasa Desivna, and they threw 13 bundles of hay at it. Ubala Yasan, and it swallowed them and ate it all. And this was a massive snake. So and the pshat is that since there was such a snake like that, so maybe taka, this guy's shvua should be a legitimate shvua. This guy's neder should be a legitimate neder because it's not just exaggeration. So Mashmuel, the Torah, right? We're talking about. He was saying that the snake had some sort of bikoyim. It had cuts in it, not cuts. There's a
Ridges, it says.
Ridges. So there's a word for that. Okay, the ridges. The snake had ridges in it, and that's
maybe it's a dinosaur. No.
Oh, and think of that. Maybe I don't know. I don't understand because
an anaconda.
What?
Anaconda.
Condo?
Anaconda.
Oh, an anaconda. And a condo.
Anaconda.
Yeah, anaconda. So that's okay, maybe, but I don't understand the whole thing. Because once in history there was some oddball snake, so therefore it's not an exaggeration. All right. So then, if that's the case, your kasha from Friday, Rabban, with that there were levayas and parades with 600,000. That's also that happened more than once, right? So I don't clearly understand because once in history there was this massive snake. I don't know. So anyway, so we're saying, but it doesn't mean that anyways. So it means it wasn't the size, it was that it had this weird thing about it. So Gemara says, all snakes have these ridges in it. So the Gemara says, "Agabai tarif kamrin." We're talking about on the back of the snake. But so the Gemara says, "V'lisni tarif." So then why don't you say that the guy made a shvua that the snake, or made a neder that the snake had these things on it? The Gemara answers, because it's trying to teach us science. It's trying to teach us something parenthetically. Yeah. The Kairos Beis Habad Gabu Gaboy Toruf. The back of a olive press, the back of it is normally has folds in it, ridges. What's the difference? Why do we need to know this? For business, somebody who sells a beam of an olive press to his friend, if the back of the press has got these ridges in it, so I think that's going to cause the olives to be pressed much better. So then it's a sale. The Eloi, and if not, then it's a mekach tois, right? If it doesn't have these ridges in it, then it's a mekach tois. Right, so that's all. That's what the Mishna is trying to teach us. So again, it's not talking about the size of the snake. It's talking about that the snake had ridges. Yeah, fine. On to Amud Beis now. So Zog the Mishnah, nidre shkogos. So there are nedarim of that if somebody makes a neder b'shoigig, that was the third category of something that's not a neder. So what's some cases? Imo chalti bim shosisi. A person said that it's going to be a neder if I ate or drank whatever, any type of food. And so he makes this neder, and then niska sha'acha v'shosa. He remembers that he ate and drank. So therefore, it's a mistake because Itaka didn't remember. What is the pshat in this one? All right. So I'm saying he thought that he didn't eat that day or drink that day. The guy tells him, "Did you keep your diet today?" He says, "Yes, I kept my diet. I'm telling you, I kept my diet. I'm going to make a neder that I kept my diet, and I'm going to assur myself to drink anything tonight if I ate something or drank something today." And the guy makes the neder. 10 minutes later says, "Hey, you know what? You're right. When I woke up, I ate and I drank something. I totally forgot." So it's not a neder. So then what kind of force does that neder have? The whole point of making the neder was to prove himself right. I forgot.
That's why it's null. It means nothing because he obviously made a mistake. He forgot that he ate when he said it.
But then what was the point of his neder? I'm saying I would make a neder for everything like that. Why not? Right now I don't remember.
Well, I would say most people remember if they ate today or if they didn't eat today.
Good. So
he forgot. He had a senior moment.
So tell me the case when a guy would make a neder that he ate or drank something that day, and he legitimately means the neder. So where's he going to go wrong by making that neder? Why wouldn't he make the neder? How's he going to get nailed? Somebody's going to show him a video. "Hey, I saw you eating by the tikkun this morning. There you are." He says, "Oh, I forgot." Okay, no neder. Shkoyach. So what was the point of the whole thing?
But don't we hear all the time about
they
Dolim and
davened before the Nate, so he thought it didn't count for today.
Maybe that case, yeah.
And we hear stories about Gedolim that can go a whole day of learning without eating and not even knowing. Like, isn't there a story of a Rav that like his daughter gave him vinegar instead of?
So why would he make a neder?
That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't remember. They said that about Reb Chaim Kanievsky. They said about Reb Chaim that by the day he would ask people, "What bracha achroina do it? What bracha achroina am I making on the food? Like, what was it?" So they wanted to tell you that he didn't even remember he ate. I think then I saw somebody said, "No, it's not the pshat. He just didn't know what the food was. Not pshat that he forgot that he ate." All right, but okay, there's always going to be the Litvish and the Chassidish spin on the story.
A Danish never landed on his windowsill, so he didn't know what a Danish is supposed to look like.
You're right. For some reason, Danishes land on my windowsill all the time. The problem is I don't need any description of it either. So, so I don't know. I really don't understand.
That's only because if a chagav landed on your windowsill, you wouldn't eat it.
Okay, maybe. I don't understand why this neder should be just totally shot, but okay, I don't know. Next case is similar. Shani oichel.
You think
v'shani
it should be
shoy.
a valid neder?
Yeah, why are you making nedarim if you and then
But how could it be a valid neder if he says I'm making a neder and because I did and because I didn't eat anything, but I happened to eat something today. So how could that even be? How could that
So
be a
he's
neder?
he's over the neder.
right? David, let me ask you. I don't know why
he's
you're
over
not,
the neder.
I don't know, David. I'm
I'm
not getting
afraid,
involved in your. I'm not getting involved in your personal business. I don't know why you're not at Avos Abanim, right? But let's say you tell your kid.
I'll tell you why. Because there's a malava mal. Yeshiva Katana has a 3rd to 5th grade malava mal.
Okay,
that doesn't
so
start
watch.
till
So watch.
7:30.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So your son told you that it's a 3rd to 5th grade Malava Mal.
I got 17 emails saying it.
Okay, good. You got all the emails, right? And then the guy from Avos Abanim calls you up and say, "Hey, we're the spiders," and you say, "I'm making a neder that we were there. We were there." The guy says, "You sure you were here? Otherwise, you're getting docked from next week. You can't
First of
come."
all, I go to a place nobody knows my name.
Okay, good. Okay, that's smart. But I'm saying, but whatever. So they track you down and they say you were not there, and you say I was there, and then you make. I'm telling you, the guy says you'll make a neder. I'm making a neder. Then you say, "Oh, I was last week. I was there." Right? Are you going to
100%? It definitely could have happened. Correct.
Okay.
But it can't be a valid neder because it's not true.
It was, but in your
there.
mind, in your mind, you were there. You botched it. You made a mistake.
100%. It could have happened.
So
It could happen tonight.
Worth? So I don't. So what is the neder worth?
That neder is worth nothing because it's clearly not true.
You thought it was true when you made the neder. We're not talking.
And I realized it 10 minutes later that it wasn't.
Right. So then, what's the neder worth? Me. Let's say I'm making you make that neder. Where were you for the daf? You say I was there on the daf. I said no, you were not there at the daf. I'm making a neder that I was there. Right. And then, so if I know that if you remember that you weren't there, so why would I get any chizik out of the neder you made? If I know you could just say, oh, I forgot. Okay, I don't know. Whatever. Shine. I don't understand it. No bite. It's not no chiddush here. No chiddush here at all. Right. Okay. And then the next case. Shani oichel shani shaisa. He says, I'm going to make a neder if I eat and drink, for shokach, and then he forgot about his neder. So this one already I hear. Right? The guy says he's making a neder. He's on a diet. He says, I'm making a neder. I'm not eating any leftovers Motzei Shabbos. Right? He makes a neder. Then he forgets about his neder.
I got one for you. Rosh Chodesh Kislev coming up. I'm not going to eat one donut.
There you go. Exactly. That's a good mashal, right? And then Rosh Chodesh Kislev comes and the guy brings donuts by the morning after the davening and eat a donut. He's like, shoot, I forgot my neder. So that I hear. You totally forgot the neder. That's fine. I mean, in my brain, it's fine. The first case, I don't understand. Fine. Omar, he says, Koinam ishti nenesli. He says, I'm making a neder that my wife should not, I can't get benefit from my wife. My wife can get benefit from me. Right? We had this case a few hours ago. Why? Because she stole my wallet and she hit my son. And then he found out that she did not hit the kid. And he finds out that she didn't steal. So that was a neder. He was a shaygig on the neder. He was making neder because he was upset at his wife because she hit the kids or she stole his wallet. And then he found that it's not true. Okay, so then that neder is null and void. Okay, that's also more understandable.
Isn't that a tanai? Isn't he doing it out tonight?
What do you say?
It's a tanai.
He didn't make it.
If she hit my kid,
you mean why didn't he make a neder like that? Why didn't he make a neder?
No, but he's not saying if. He's saying because she did it.
He believed the lashon hara.
She stole my purse, or because she hit my son. It's not a tanai. That already happened when he makes the neder.
No, but the neder being that I can't have benefit from her because she did something. That is the tanai, that she can't have benefit from me because she did something.
No, he doesn't say if she hit my kid. He believes 100% he hit the kid.
I understand, but he's not saying you have no benefit from me without an explanation. I agree with everything you're all saying. I understand that. But wouldn't the next logical step be that because he articulated because my kid was hit or she stole from me is a tanai? That's the only reason why she can't have benefit.
Aren't all these cases the same? These all cases.
And when it's not true, it's not a real neder.
Right, but it is not a real neder because he was doing it based on misinformation. No,
All these cases are that.
not the first case.
Why not? The first case is if I ate or drank today.
That's you. That's
But
not
he had that
misinformation about something
information.
else.
He
Yeah.
had that information. He processed it wrong. He had the information. The second case, it never happened. The wife never hit the child. So it didn't happen.
I don't know where they are.
Right, so
No, but
I don't
where's the car?
okay, but that's it sounds like he was just based on misinformation. Yeah, Royce on Eichlentainim, if he saw people eating figs. Now this already gets more complicated. It's not complicated, but a more interesting case. He sees people eating figs. V'amar harei aleichem korban, and he said, you are all these figs are assur to you, like a korban. V'nimtzu, meaning because I guess he owned the figs, right? V'nimtzu aviv v'achim, and then he realizes that in the middle of this pile of people stealing all his figs, there was his brother and his father. V'hayu imayim acherim, but there were people with them too. So now he basically made his father and his brother assur to eat his things, which he clearly didn't want to do. So Beishamai says, Hein mutarim imahem asurim. The father and the brother are mutar because he made a mistake on them, but everybody else is assur. Basil says they're all mutar, which we're going to see in the Gemara, because once you're being mevatel part of the neder, you're going to knock out the entire neder. We don't eliminate nedarim partially. Again, there's no way where a bunch of people eating the guy's figs. He doesn't see that it's his father and brother there, and he makes a neder that they're all assur to eat his figs. It's all assur to them like a korban. Then he realizes his father and brother in there, so that's clearly a shtick. All right, so he made a mistake. Fine. So the shaila is the neder still applicable? So Beishamai says, yes, you could split the neder. On the father and the brother, it's fine because that was a mistake. On everybody else, it's a problem. Right? And Basil says, no, everybody's mutar. So Zakti Gemara, Tana, Kishem Shenidre Shkagas Mutarim, Kach Shavuos Shkagas Mutarim. It's like yesterday's daf. The same way a neder b'shoigig is mutar, so too a shvua b'shoigig is mutar. Now, what's a shvua b'shoigig? Hey, chidami shvua shkagas. What's a shvua shkagas? Again, this I can't say I understand this case. You're going Rav Kana Ravasi, right? We're talmidim of Rav, and they're having Machlokes what Rav said. Sadein Amar shvua asa dahachi Amar Rav. I'm making a shvua that this is what Rav said. V'hadein Amar shvua asa dahachi Amar Rav, and I'm making a shvua that this is what Rav said. Right? This stuff still goes on nowadays. Right? Talmidim swearing that what they got, the information they got is true. So they're both swearing against each other. The chol chad v'chada daided in afshei shapika mishtava. In their own das, they're all swearing. Each one of them is swearing perfectly legit. One of them is wrong. All right. So they're not chayiv in a shul. If one of them ends up being proven wrong, they are not chayiv for making the shul, because in his das he was making the shul. Right? Again, I don't understand. I'm just saying before you say, I don't understand. What does that mean? You're just going to shoot off your mouth and make a shul. Obviously, I'm not saying shooting off the mouth, but of Kana Ravasi. But you're just going to make a shul that this is what you heard from your Rebbe, and then you find out that it was wrong, and you're not liable for a shvua, because when you did it, your mind said that it was perfectly legit. All right. I mean, I don't know if that's the pshat that what's going on here. That's what it seems. All right. There's also Gemara and Shavuos, and the Gemara and Shavuos says that they had this fight, and then they went to Rav, and Rav paskin like one of them. All right. And they said to him, this is the Gemara in Shavuos, and they said to Rav, okay, so did I make a shvua shav? He said, no. Rav said, your heart, libach ansach, your heart forced you to do it. All right? Meaning you swore b'shoigig. You're called a shoigig for that. Yeah, I mean, it's sounds like a gewaldige loophole. All right? You have two guys fighting. Did the Mets win last night or did they not win last night? One guy says the Mets won. I'm telling you, the Mets lost. It comes out that the Mets won. So to me, I would say, if they came to me, I say, buddy, you made a Shavuos show. What are you swearing about the Mets? Right? And then we say, no. His heart told him that that's the Mets won. I mean, my heart always tells me the Mets are winning. The problem is my heart is wrong a lot. I'm saying, what is the pshat? Right?
Maybe it's what Rav Hutner says. Rav Hutner says that a person lives in what he thinks, in his imagination. What a person thinks, that's his reality. Everybody has a different reality.
Tell me about it. Yeah. Right.
You can. I know. All of the different Rabbeim of your boys, and your boys have a totally different reality. Right?
That's for sure.
Doesn't matter which grade they're in, which Rebbe they have. No, everybody. He says everybody has. I don't know that when he learned the whole thing that he said, but I just know he said such a thing, that everybody's reality, they live in their imagination. That's what reality. That's what your reality is. It's not.
Yeah.
You see the coffee cup here full or half empty, right? And that's the famous advertisement. But we all,
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. I don't know.
Isn't
So
it a steer though? What does Shapir Kabishtaba mean? If the Maisa Shavuos to Mataris.
You mean you should say it wasn't even a shvur?
I think that's what it means. Shapir Kabishtaba. In his mind, it was a shvur, but that didn't mean a shvur as in the Torah's din of Shavuos. Means he was just saying, "This is the way I saw the pshat." That's the lashon of shvur. Didn't mean it's a shvur. It means this is the pshat.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, maybe that's a pshat. Okay, I mean it's really a sugya in Shavuos. So I would say when we learn it in Shavuos, we'll do the sugya. But yeah,
it's either Nazir or Shavuos, but it's never Nedarim.
You're right.
Nedarim is a small masechta because it's a Nazir and Shavuos.
Yeah. I hear. I don't know. Okay, I'm not sure. Then the next line also. Let's just the next 4 lines, and then because Aaron Kaplan Mamish said this example, but he's not on. I think Tanan also. We learned in the Mishna over there. Paistin the Shabbos of Yom Tov. We use Shabbos and Yom Tov as a Pesach, right? What's a case? Like what are we talking about? But at the beginning they would say Oisan Yom Mutarim. They're mutter. V'Shakal Yom Masurim. And the other days are assur. If you make a neder that you're mattering some, then you're mattering everything. Meaning, somebody made a neder that he's not eating meat or wine for the whole year. Right? So now the whole year he's not eating meat or wine. So we'll use Shabbos and Yom Tov as a Pesach and say, did you realize when you made the shvua that your Shabbos and Yom Tov is not going to be good because you're not allowed to have meat and wine? So if the guy says that he wouldn't have done it, then we say that that's enough to be matter the neder for him. All right. But so what the Gemara, what the Mishna is saying is that originally they thought, okay, but you made the neder for the whole year. I mean, again, the guy made a neder, he's not eating meat or wine for the whole year. Then he realizes this is not an easy neder. So they tell him, okay, would you have made this neder had you realized that your Shabbos and Yom Tov are going to be terrible? He says, I would never made the neder. So he said, okay, Shabbos and Yom Tov you could eat meat. The rest of the week you cannot eat meat and wine. And then Rabbi Akiva came and said, no, once we're being mated the neder partially, we're being mated the neder all the way around.
He should make a new neder. He should make a new neder that just during the week he's not going to eat meat and wine, and on Yom Tov and Shabbos he will.
We don't make him do it. That's a good point. That's what I would tell him. But Rabbi Akiva said no. Once you're being mater the neder of Shabbos and Yom Tov, we mater the neder completely. Right? That's it. We don't do it partially. And okay, and then we'll stop here and we'll continue this tomorrow. All right. Have yourselves a good vach.
Now I got to go to my main event tonight.
Oh, you got to go.
I thought you went already.
No, 7:30 is the Malava Malka.
I could have sworn you went.
That's right.
What?
Didn't he go off the daf? Yeah.
Wow, Avi.
There you go.
No, I
David,
didn't
that's
go.
very good. Avi, it's a good thing. David, just tell the Manal tomorrow that you swear that you went.
The problem is my wife went to go set up.
Oh, that's a problem.
And my daughter's babysitting for somebody else who's going.
So tell your wife that she stole your wallet and you're making neder that she can't benefit.
Yeah, I could definitely tell my wife I was there. She's not going to see me.
Okay.
I
So
thought
maybe
you were
You know, it's Yaakov. No one has to make a shua anymore that their wife stole their wallet. That's caution.
I hear.
From her phone, she's got access to all the money anyway.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. What's a wallet? What's in the wallet that you can't get online?
That's true.
The $6
All right.
cash?
Yeah. Anyways, okay. Enjoy your malava, Malcolm.
Thank you.
And get to the
Okay.
Yashikaya.
Good luck with
But
your.
you're at least getting a slice of. Do you get a slice of pizza or just your son gets?
He's off
How
already.
does others fun and work? The fathers also get a slice, or they
I
don't?
think the fathers also get. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Anyways. All right. Good work.
That's about.